So first up, my name is John Crowley. I'm the Managing Director, and I'd like to first off welcome you to our facility here in the tour of Cork, but also to welcome you to Cork and Ireland. And thanks for bringing the weather. That was very nice of you yesterday. We really appreciated the sun. I'd like to introduce Elisa, who is our Quality Control Manager, whom you will meet.
Welcome.
Elisa looks after all the labs, all the testing of the product. And then I'd like to introduce you to Brendan. Brendan is our head of manufacturing, so he looks after all of the manufacturing, bottling of the products as well. So they will join you in those two sections of the tour. So just on some housekeeping, don't take any videos, even though I know you're videoing now, absolutely. But the rule is not to take videos. You can take pictures of the presentation though. And if you do want to take pictures downstairs, just ask Brendan, just make sure it's okay. Because because there are people around, we don't want people's images on the internet or whatever. So. Secondly, if there is a fire alarm, leave the building. It's really a fire. So some people have tests. We're running no tests today, so if the fire alarm goes off, just go for an exit. Follow the leaders, basically. And finally, just enjoy the day and make the most of the experience here. And we're so delighted to have you here. You'll notice that from the staff, if you're talking to any of the people in the organisation. They love advocates coming, because they love people with a passion for products that they make, and they love the products themselves as well. So make the most of it. Okay, so we'll go into the details now. So this picture here, this is where you were last night. I'm not sure if you saw it, if you went into the city or into the town. This town is actually not Cork, this is Cove. But you're on the island, Great Island and Foda Island. This is really just about a few kilometres from there. So. And that's Cork Harbour, as I was saying. It's the second deepest harbour in the world, so natural harbour in the world. So Cork is about 500,000, 580,000 people, city and county. The city is quite small in terms of population. Now it's about 500,000. But it's the second largest city in the Republic of Ireland. So the population of Ireland is pretty small. For a big island, 500, 5.8 million, whatever it is. But Cork is a centre for life sciences, pharmaceuticals, technology. So Apple's headquarters for Europe is in Cork. Large companies like Pfizer, Merck, Gilead, Johnson Controls global headquarters is here, Amazon, all of these large organisations, probably the top 10, they're all in Cork basically. So most of them would use it as a European headquarters if they're not already in Dublin. And of course we benefit from that as well, because we see ourselves as similar to the pharmaceutical, life sciences and food industry because of what we produce. So it has allowed Dotira to hire staff and professionals from those industries locally. And that has been really a major advantage to us. Secondly as well, and the government is very, very supportive of industry. Now we've transformed from being an agricultural based economy to now a very high technology based economy, probably in about 30 years. That's all driven by the European Union and by the government investing in people, education, infrastructure, etc. So we've been very fortunate in that as a result of that as well. So then with regard to the plant itself, it's about 95,000 square feet. So the space that you saw when you drove in, that's basically that's the area of the plant. We have 2 floors. It has warehousing, it has labs, cold storage, and then production areas as well. We have about 72 people working directly in manufacturing, probably going up. I think we went up by 3 yesterday or the day before. So. And we have then another 11 supporting the European support business as well in finance and logistics, for example. But the people that we have supporting the business here, number one is for the bottling plant. So you'll see downstairs, you'll see the 5 ml, 15 ml. Is 10 ml running? Yeah, 10 ml. And 10 ml is running as well. So you'll see the 10 ml. So they're the 3 major products that we run here. But we also support the third-party products manufactured in Europe. We do all the testing of those products here as well. And actually the validation of the supplier and reviewing the supplier performance, etc. terms of production capability, we have 4 bottling lines. We have 6 blend and refine rooms, and we have 1 sanitation room. If we could do 30 million bottles a year, no problem, with the existing capabilities in terms of the plant and the equipment that we have. So, why is Doterra in Cork or in Ireland? Number one, the main reason was actually to be close to the European market. I think initially products were all shipping from PG, from Pleasant Grove, into Europe, into distribution. The lead time from PG by sea is about 6 weeks. So if you manufacture in Cork, we ship in 1 week. Every week basically we ship out of here, and it goes into distribution within 1 week. If we need to, we can do it in 2 days, so we can ship something today and it'll be there by Friday, for example. So significantly reduces the shipping lead time, but it also makes us more flexible. So the European team will come to us, can you do this, can you do that, have you got oil for this? And we review it, and literally within 3 to 4 weeks we could ship product from here. If needed, we can do products far more urgently and quicker as well than in the US. It's because we are also a smaller team, we're very tight, we meet every day, what's priorities. You know, everyone walks away from the table with their own priorities to get the job done, basically to support yourselves. And bottom line is the business is here to support you. Right? That's the only function, that's our only function in life, basically, is to support yourselves. So then with regard to the workforce, as I mentioned, they're highly educated, coming from food, from pharma, from medical devices. I actually come from electronics myself, so this is a big shock. And this industry is very, very different to what I've never seen any industry like this. It's quite unique. It's lovely, actually. I'm not complaining. And we also finally we have to follow the European regulations and standards. So they're quite different, or at least to a degree they're different than the US. But that's the market that we're in. That we're all in basically, so we have to follow that market. In terms of stats, we would have imported we could look at the bottle production. When we started out, in 2020, we did 250,000 bottles. Last year we did 10.5 million. This year we think we'll do around 12.7 million, and it will grow obviously year over year. We are expecting growth of around 20% year over year. So this journey we want to see continue over the next coming years. Any questions on that slide? One thing I should mention, obviously, this is probably important now, is with regard to tariffs and duties, etc. Because we manufacture in Ireland and because we only ship inside Europe or outside Europe, but not to the US, we're not impacted by any tariffs or duties other than the existing tariffs or duties that are there. Like, we import oils from about 48 different countries and very little from the US. So whatever's going on in that sphere will have no impact on us. This is our organizational structure. I won't name everybody on the slide, but it's just really to show you that we have, supply chain, we have quality control, quality assurance, human resources, finance, and then we have manufacturing as well. Okay, then on our employees, about 40% of the employees have a degree or higher, and about 60%, including 40%, have professional degrees as well as maybe a degree or professional qualification. You'll notice we're very multicultural. We're just really a representation of a Western European country at this point in time. It's multilingual. There's people from all over the world in the organisation. So it's a small, as you can see, it's a small team, like 72, in total probably 85. We include the other areas as well. So we're very close. We've had a very busy 3-4 months, so we're actually taking an hour off tomorrow to have something to eat together and just relax and say thanks. But with the workforce, we have very experienced people in the organisation. We have a very stable workforce. The turnover of employees it's less than 5%. it was higher, but we've worked a lot, and particularly Maria, she will join us. She's worked a lot on the culture. So we see ourselves as being very unique in terms of the company that we are, and we would, we believe we use, or we've adopted all the values of Doterra as a company. So we have a very friendly, open working environment here, very egalitarian. Anybody can talk to me at any time, or anyone of the managers as well. And we work very closely together. We all get stuck in when there's issues to be resolved, etc. So it's very good. It's a very nice working environment. So what we like to do as well is we like to promote internally. So when positions become available, most companies will have to look externally. We don't. We'll look at the staff that we have, if they have the right mindset, and if they don't have the qualifications, what do we need to do to get them to the right level of qualification? Because the key for us actually is culture. Because we can bring in all these experts externally, but if this mess up our culture, we're going to ruin the whole organisation. And this team works as a team. It's fantastic. When you get something done, they'll get it done. And that's because there's trust and there's openness, and it's just a good, decent, nice place to work. So what happens is, the reason we have a very low turnover is people who come in, they like it. And what we ask them to do is, if we're looking for positions and we can't hire somebody internally, we'll ask them to go out and, can they talk to their friends? Do they know people with a similar mindset that would fit? And that's how we bring people in. So far we've been actually very lucky, has been very, very successful. But it's, our goal is, we want people to come to work because they want to come to work. That's our goal, that's our objective. Business Park in the site itself, we are very focused on sustainability. This is only 5 years old, this site. So obviously when they were building the sites, they were putting in all the sustainable solutions. So for example, harvesting rainwater, using LED lighting, using only renewable energy as a source of energy. And then from our perspective then as well, we're always trying to minimise our waste in terms of oils and chlorides going into the water. So we brought in quite a lot of changes. We reduced the chloride going into the water system by about 80%, and we've significantly reduced the oils going into the water as well. So. And we're also working on energy consumption reduction last year, about 20%, but that's actually continuing to happen as well. You're very quiet. You don't have any questions. This is unbelievable, actually. So.
We're anxious to see.
We want to see the real deal. So last year, these would have been the top oils that we produce here. Clearly lemon, 1.1 million. You should remember some of these because they may come up in a quiz later on as well, right? So this is only the 5 and 15. And now we only start producing 10 ml in February.
What?
The roll-on.
Yes.
We started production in February last month. I think we'll have done 15 different types of 10 ml by the end of this week actually.
So each bottle of lemon sold in Europe is produced here?
Yeah. There's other products that have been looked at to transfer as well. There's probably, I'd say, another 20 plus products in the 5 and 15 ml range, which we will actually transfer. So this is Maria, by the way. She is head of HR. So I mentioned
Hello.
Hello.
So this is done in a different place.
These are all done by third-party manufacturers, so these will be suppliers to us, but all the testing is done here. So for the finished product and also for the oils, all the oils will be delivered out of here, so the raw ingredients would all come from here as well. This is only some of them, there's quite a lot, and we're seeing that grow as well over the last few years. you're aware of this story in terms of the ingredients, the raw materials basically coming from all over the world, like 45 different countries.
When you do blending, how much, like, when you mix the oils, does it stay for a long time before it's bottled, or is it like mixing and bottling?
So the oils will all come in separately. So I hope I pronounce this correctly. Shanren Roku, is it? Or, sorry, which is actually my favorite, even though I can't pronounce it. That has 14 different oils. It's unbelievable. 14 different oils. Right? So they have to blend all the oils together. But remember, all those oils will come in individually, so they all have to get tested individually as well before we can start blending them. Then when they go through the blend process, there are stages where it has to be tested before it moves on to bottling. So it can move to bottling unless it actually passes, how it looks, and also it has to go through quality control as well. That has to be tested. If it passes quality control, then it goes to blend. Realistically, like that product, that is a difficult product to manufacture or to blend, because the blending part of it is just so critical. And these are very different oils. Some of these oils are actually not even oils; they're more or less solids, even though they're oils. So it makes it very, very difficult. But that one in particular is one. When I was looking at it for the first time, going, "This is crazy," but it's a beautiful product. It's a fantastic product. But to answer your question, we think realistically, if somebody said to us, how long does it take from the time the oils arrive at the back door to us shipping a bottle of oil out after blending, it's probably 6 to 8 weeks. That's how long it takes. And mainly that's the work that, I call it the magic. You'll see it on the video downstairs, but the blend and refine room it's like a chef. It's like magic, what they're doing in there in terms of, they follow the recipes, and how they actually get it right, and how long it takes to get it right. That's where it all happens, and that's the toughest piece for us, basically. And then of course all the tests, it has to pass all the tests as well. So then, I suppose the last three slides really is around our qualities, right? And you're all aware of the co-impact sourcing strategy which we have, and I'm sure some of you have actually visited some of the suppliers as well. Mm-hmm. And that has actually evolved as well, but that is the core. That's the core of what we do, basically. I mean, once we get that right, we can't, and we stick to our processes and our standards, we can't go wrong from there. The key really is our sourcing. So if you look at the co-impact sourcing process, the key there is to ensure that our suppliers follow the quality standard that we're looking for, and it also means they have to have the same cultural values as we have as well. So in that case, certain suppliers have fallen off our supply base because we're not happy with who they are and how they operate. And that's just, that's how organizations develop, and how good we are getting as well in terms of our sourcing. But the testing begins at the supplier. So I'll show you the slide in a second. They have to send a test to us. They have to test the oil before they ship it. So they send us the test results. They have to send us a sample. We test the sample, and if we're happy with their test results and the sample, we'll say ship it. But then when it arrives at our back door, we test it again. And it's possible that it will fail for a certain whatever. And if that is the case, then we obviously have to reject that batch. But the bottom line is that our testing process is so complete, and we're testing oils probably 7 times through the entire process to make sure that you get the right quality and the right standard of oil that you should bought. And this is really what I'm saying in this slide as well, that multiple number of times that we test the oils and verify the oils. Pre-shipment, when they send samples, the quality control team testing it or issuing code through a number of stages in the bottling process, and before it's actually shipped out into distribution. So this would have been a line, let's say, as an example, coming from Brazil. if it's produced in Brazil, they will send a sample of the oil to Pleasant Grove. They'll also send their own test specification, their own certificate of analysis to Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove will then actually analyse the oil that's they received, that it matches what it should be, right? Once they say yes, it's then shipped from Brazil directly to Cork. When we get it, we'll test it again. And even for something simple like lime, it will be tested another 3 times through the process before we ship it on to distribution. We ship into distribution in Rotterdam, and then from there it goes on to Poland, and to Italy, and to the UK as well. That's the route that it takes. So by the time you actually get the oil, let's say into Poland, it's probably 2 weeks after shipping it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why do you send to Rotterdam and then back to UK? Because in Rotterdam there is a place where they're selecting and.
In the UK?
Yes, because you could send it directly from here to the UK, you know? It's closer.
From here?
Yes.
It is closer, but unfortunately the UK Brexit.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's there next day, and like
Mexico.
that's a pity, really, being honest with you.
So it's for tax reasons. Okay.
Because if we ship over, there's duties and taxes they imported in, etc. So yeah. And this is the last slide that I just want to show you. This is the picture of the oils that we buy and from where we're buying them as well. So. We work very closely with headquarters. I'm being very honest when it comes to decisions on suppliers and oils, etc. They drive the strategy. They're the experts. They're the scientists when it comes to the oil. So we just follow whatever strategy they're actually rolling out. That's it. Any questions?
When you're talking about 10 mLs, do you mean the touch bottles or the droppers?
It's the touch bottle.
Okay.
Yeah. The roll-on is what we call it.